Hey, welcome back to my channel. Today we're reviewing the LT-1 trolley system from Rogue in the Monster Lite finish. So the reason obviously that I have the Monster Lite version of this piece of equipment is because I have a Monster Lite rack. When these went on the sale, the big sale that Rogue did, they advertised on Instagram, I just happened to be on my phone at that point in time, which during the day I'm usually not on my phone. I saw the sale come up, I stepped out, I saw that it was 150 bucks for the trolleys, the arms, and the attachments, and felt that I needed to immediately buy it, so I just stepped outside, purchased it real quick. It was $207 shipped to me. The only downside is that it arrived in like mid-December, so I didn't really get it in a timely manner, but when I did get it, super excited, got it set up. I remember coming home at lunch and all the boxes were out front, and I immediately took them all in the garage and I set one of them up right away, and it was really easy to set up, but we'll get into that in a minute. So let's just jump right into it. Some of the good things about this is, one, Rogue shipping. It arrived intact, in good condition. I guess they're doing something new with their boxes, and they have this red lining inside of them. I personally never had issues with Rogue shipping, or at least their packaging too much before. I had a bit of an issue with the reverse hyper, but it was UPS's fault, not Rogue's. These are packaged on their own, so you have the actual trolley that attaches to the posts, and then these were in a box together, and then each one of these handles also came in its own box. Really, it wasn't that much to move in. I actually thought things were missing. I expected it to be bigger, I guess, but after seeing it on here, it makes sense what it is. So obviously, one of the reasons that you get a system like this is because of how versatile that it is to your gym. It adds so many things that you can actually do. I know that it seems like it's just a lever going up and down. To a lot of people, that might be all that it looks like to you, but I'm going to go to some clips here in a moment and show you, but there's so many different movements that you can do with just the attachments that it comes with. And supposedly down the line, they're going to come out with more attachments. If they do, awesome. If they don't, I'll be a little disappointed, but I'm pretty sure Rogue, being Rogue, is going to come out with some pretty awesome attachments for this. The other part is how heavy, how durable that these things are. I mean, we're talking probably 3/8 inch steel for the actual trolley arms, the actual trolley carts. We'll call them carts or trolleys or whatever. Now the arms are your typical 11 gauge. Thing on the holes though is that they're just 2 inches on center, and it's on both sides, which is different than normal for Monster Lite, where you would have like a west side spacing in a section. This just has 2 inches on all sides. It has the same overbuilt feeling that most Rogue products have. Everything is stout, everything is built to be big and beefy, and like there's no reason that I should need this huge 1 inch pin, but it's there. And it's there with a good bushing, and it makes you feel good because you can tell that you paid $1,000 for this. Like, because that's how much this costs. This is a $900 piece of equipment, and it definitely has a $900 piece of equipment feeling to it when you're actually feeling it, when you touch it. The actual movement up and down on the trolley carts is nice and smooth. There's little holes that are back here that you'll see during the setup part of the video that you can use. So there's actually 4 holes, and it pushes these bolts on the back. I'll just show you real quick. It pushes these rear hole bolts forward, and you have to do that before you tighten the bolt down all the way. And you can see the Allen wrench right there. And so you tighten that down, and it pushes this whole roller assembly up against the actual power rack. And obviously you don't want to have it like right on, because then it's not going to go up and down very easily. But you want to have it tight enough that you don't have a ton of play. And once you set them, they don't move either. These things are set in there, they're solid. no problems at all. It goes up, like I said, it goes up and down nice and smooth. You can tell that it just kind of glides right on there. The paint so far, any of the powder coat finish, is not wearing off at all, at least not from the rollers. There is some scratching that we'll get into as well. Another thing about this, and I was surprised, I was actually very surprised about this, is the ease of installation. These things go in super easy. This plate on the front, so the arm obviously isn't attached, and this big 1-inch through bolt is not actually attached on there either. But the trolley comes in pretty much two pieces and some bolts and rollers, and you just have to thread the rollers on. So you put it up on the rack, you pin it, put your bolts in after you put in this plate that keeps it on the actual upright, and that's it. It's really easy. I think I had the first arm installed in 5 minutes. It really doesn't take long at all. And I'm talking like the whole arm was installed in 5 minutes. So another reason that you would buy this is just because it's kind of cool. It's a feature. It's a tool. And not everybody's going to have this tool, but I do. And so people that I know that I have this are jealous that I have this. Even though they might not buy it, they think it's cool that I have it. So when people come over to the house, they want to come outside, they want to see what the trolley system's all about, they get to come up here, and obviously it's really cool moving it up and down and seeing everything you can do with it. Another awesome feature, and Coop kind of touched on it recently in Garage Room Reviews on their Instagram, but you can put the actual handles on a 3x3 cross member, and they double as a pull-up station. So you can do different grip pull-ups. So if you want like a neutral grip, or a normal grip, or a chin, or if you want like this weird pronated kind of grip, you can even do a fat grip, like you were grabbing the collars, and you can do a fat grip neutral. And so I have it up there as an option for pull-ups. Alright, so now for the bad. This arm on this side, the end, there's some bushings here that are in the end. This one on the left, on my left, is good to go. It's nice, it's very finished. When you look on the inside, I'm going to put some pictures up, but when you look on the inside of it, it's nice, smooth, and finished. This other one almost looks rifled, and not in a pretty way. It just looks super dinged up, scratched. It doesn't look good. I emailed Rogue about this, and they said that all of them have some sort of insert that's put into them before they're packaged. So I'm guessing that it met spec. But they did say that if there were any issues, so if attachments come out and they don't work because of this bushing being screwed up, they said to obviously get in contact with them, and now I have a documented case that something's been wrong since the beginning. So this is another part of what kind of went wrong. I have 2 boxes, each of them have trolley arm handles in them, and I also have 2 trolley arm handles up there. So when I got this system in, I put this trolley arm together, and the handle went on it. It was nice and smooth and installed nicely. You can move it up and down, and worked on all the different pins. This one, however, when you threw it on, when you tried to insert the pin, it would actually gouge the pin, because it seemed like the holes for putting the pin through the handle and going into the arm were not lined up right. I emailed Rogue about it, and we talked and exchanged, and they actually next day aired me this box, which is a Monster Lite neutral right attachment. During our conversation, this is my fault, not Rogue's, I said that the right handle, because in my mind this was right and this was left, I said that the right handle was somehow wrong, like something was wrong. They next day aired me a right handle. As it turns out, this is the right handle. I'm just dumb and didn't know that, but this is actually the right side. So the way that Rogue does it is, I guess, as you face the rack. I don't know, it's kind of difficult to figure out, like, so which side's the right, which side's the left. It's really not a big deal until it becomes a big deal. because if you have two right side handles, you actually can't use them. It doesn't work because one of the weight posts is facing the wrong direction, or the pin or the handle. You can see these handles are shaped, so there has to be a right and there has to be a left. You can't just flip it upside down because then this curve would be going the opposite direction on the other side. So as soon as it arrived, I realized the mistake I'd made. I emailed Rogue fully expecting, I mean, it was my fault because I said that this is the right, even though it's super confusing. They next day aired me, without having me send this one back, next day aired me the left handle, as this is the left. Because as you face it, I guess that's the left. And the left handle came in, and it fit mostly. So there's a scratch here. Ah, found it. There's these scratches right here. And I think that maybe during shipping or during manufacturing, this pin had maybe gotten bumped out of alignment, and it was causing, so as you would hinge this onto the 3x3, this side would scrape against the paint. And the scraping was pretty bad. It was to the point where it actually caused those scratches. I don't really care too much about the scratches in the power rack. Power racks will get scratched. It's just kind of part of the game. You know, when you start lifting heavy weights, things get scratched. It is what it is. That's why they do a hard powder coat finish. Maybe Cerakote might work better. Just an option, something going forward. I ended up just throwing the handle up into that 3x3 and just kind of gave it a jerk to try to true it up. Ever since I've done that, it's fine. That's why I think it just got bumped out of alignment somehow. It did take a bit of pressure to bump it back into alignment. It bumped because like I had to hit it pretty hard. I'm not a little person, but I'm not a big one either. This is just a testament to Rogue's customer service. They're having UPS come and pick up these handles. The original left handle is absolutely screwed. There's nothing that I can do to really line that thing back up. You can look through the holes and see where it doesn't line up. The right one's fine, so there's a brand new right handle right here getting ready to get set back. Source of contention. You know going into this, that the handles, I mean, this is the Monster Lite series, right? It's the Monster Lite. You know that you're not gonna get the Monster series features. Some of the Monster series features were the beautiful stainless steel knurled handles, the beautiful stainless steel loading pins on the handles for the actual movements. And I knew I wasn't going to get those, and I figured I wasn't going to get those because it's the Monster Lite. It's the light version. It's not going to be their full version. But it's kind of disappointing. It's, I guess, bullshit, for lack of a better term. Why would you not simplify your manufacturing process? Just make all the trolleys have the same hardware. And there's more than just that. There's also, so these bolts, for instance, that actually hold the rollers on the Monster series, if you look at the pictures, it's a nicer, like rounded, like Allen looking bolt. I've never actually seen one in person, but they look different. They look higher quality. And I get it, you pay more money for it, but the Monster Lite series is versatile in its own right. Why make the Monster Lite series like the base model? Like, just make Monster Lite stuff the same as you make Monster stuff. It's annoying because a lot of home gym owners have Monster Lite stuff. So if I was to ask Rogue to do something, it would be to stop making crappier products because it's not your Monster series. Because most people don't have Monster series. Most people, when they have stuff, or at least from what I've seen, people I know, gyms I've been to, it's the Monster Lite. Now this is one part though that was not originally anticipated, this trigger. This is their Ma-Deuce, the Ma-Deuce trigger. It's supposed to be made after the machine gun. And on the website, it says that the Monster Lite's going to come with these powder-coated handles and that it's going to come with just the normal powder-coated loading pins. But it doesn't say that you're going to get this, looks like it came off of some crappy bench loading pin instead of the trigger. And it's something stupid, but these small details kind of matter, especially when you're spending $1,000. In my opinion, it's a fit and finish thing. It doesn't actually affect the versatility of the tool. You can grip this handle just fine. It moves up and down just fine as is. Another thing you don't get is the knurled nut with the actual handle, but who cares? It's a 5/8 pin anyways. It's not a 1-inch pin. But again, this trigger, it's kind of a disappointment. I was looking forward to having that cool looking trigger to go up and down, but it's not here. So this is my final critical piece of the review. Is this pin, when you pull it out and you go to move it up and down, it doesn't always want to slide back into the hole. So you have this pin goes through and it holds it in the event that this trigger fails. So when you pull this pin out, if you pull the trigger, it's going to move up and down. Now you can see it doesn't just fall into a hole. I'll do that again, and I've adjusted these 4 Allen wrench pins here. I've adjusted these things in and out 5 or 6 times per side, trying to get it to go a little bit better, but it rarely ever just snaps into a hole. Usually you got to move it to where you want it, and then you got to kind of work it in. Or just go to a different hole. And one of the other bad parts about that is if you check out the paint, where it's actually trying to slide into place, you can see that it's scratching the paint. Again, it's a power rack, I get it. Paint's gonna scratch. But still, Coop from Garage Gym Reviews, he said that he was using this thing without the pin because he was using it on a Sornex rack, and that they did tests where they would just pull the trigger and let it drop and it always caught the next hole. This one doesn't. I've adjusted it, like I said, 5 or 6 times per side. It's really frustrating because sometimes it goes right into the hole, other times, like you just saw, it doesn't. So maybe something needs to be fine-tuned. So overall, there's a lot of goods that come with these trolley arms. They're nice and solid. They're a cool looking piece of kit. They feel like they're overbuilt. They feel like they cost the amount of money. It definitely feels like made in the USA, overbuilt, over-engineered, looks good design. There's a couple things with the design I don't like. I don't like that the Monster Lite has these powder-coated handles. I hate this cheap trigger that they put on the Monster Lite version. It's just stupid. It's all functionality, no style. I mean, come on, people are paying $1,000 for this thing. I don't like the non-stainless loading pins on the handles. I think it should just be the same. Just put a different pin, like the permanent pin on the handles. Leave those 5/8. And then just make them the same as the Monster Series. I don't understand why they do it different. I know that you want people to buy the Monster Series, but sometimes it doesn't make sense. So, overall, I don't know. Do you have $900 to spend on a piece of equipment that currently has no other attachments other than those handles? So what I would do is probably, like right now, if someone was to ask me if they should buy these, I would say to wait. Wait, one, because there's going to be some used ones that are going to pop up. They're just it's going to happen. People are going to have bought them on the pre-sale and they don't like them. So watch for those, buy those. 2, they might be working on some of these quirks, so wait. Maybe I'm not the only person that's having these issues with the pin not latching. I did email Rogue about it, and I had like 3 or 4 things, because there was the handles, there was the bushing on the end of the arm that was scraped up, and then there was the pin issue, and they only ever got back to me on the handles being bent and the bushing. They never addressed this actually not latching into place. I'll probably reattack that with them and see if they say anything about it. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. But right now, I would say don't buy this. And that's hard for me to say because I own it. But I would wait to buy this. Wait for the attachments. Wait for some of the fine-tuned engineering that's going to come out of Rogue. They produce a good quality product, and they care about what people think. They listen to what people think. So hopefully they'll watch this and maybe take some notes on maybe some style stuff and some functionality issues that actually are kind of safety issues when you really think about it. Having said that, though, I don't regret buying it, and I don't plan on selling it. I actually use them probably 3 times or so a week. Right now, I just use them 3 times a week as substitutes for accessory movements. I don't regret buying them. Again, I wouldn't recommend spending $900 on them quite yet. I'd wait till they have some attachments, but I don't regret it. I love having it in the gym. Maybe eventually they'll have some options for different colors. Maybe if you wanted it to match your blue power rack, you could get a blue arm or a blue trolley, or maybe do some different color stuff. A lot of people like having those aesthetic features to their gym. But overall, it's an excellent piece of equipment. I enjoy using it. I do get frustrated at the pin when it doesn't want to fall into the hole on the power rack upright, but it always eventually gets in there. I appreciate you guys watching my review of the LT-1 trolley. If this is a review that you liked watching, please give my video a thumbs up and subscribe. I'm going to try to get more of these videos out based on what I have in my garage gym. I feel like I have a different type of review to offer. This is just my initial review. I've only had this for a month. So this is just my initial impressions and setup of the LT-1 trolley. I'll be doing another in-depth review probably in about 6 months to a year after I actually get to put some programming use to these trolley arms. Maybe my opinion will change, or maybe a setup thing will change, and I'll have worked it out by then. But I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.